Welcome back, everybody. Mike McConville, Stratford, Ontario, Canada for String Tech Workstations. This Les Paul that Steve just sent up from Pennsylvania, so I'm going to do it a little bit different this time. I'm going to play it in multiple places all over the neck before I set it up, and then let you be the judge. So thanks for setting that up, Steve. We'll give you a play-by-play on this one, buddy. I can just barely fit that under there. The other side, on the bass side, same thing, 5 thou. You can, same thing, it just barely fits under there. So this is an issue, and it's probably one of the reasons why the bridge was hiked up, because the open strings were buzzing. Now, I have said this, I'm always after my students in level 1 and level 2, filing out the nut is the very last thing you do. Now, the bridge had to be hiked up because that nut was cut way too low. Okay, first step, let's just tune the guitar. All 6 open strings are in tune. So next, let's check the first fret note. So E, there's our E. It's a bit sharp all the way across. Next thing we're going to try is this. So I'm going to just fret the note B here on the 7th fret of the low E string. You see, that's also sharp. Next string, E, 7th fret on the A string. It's, okay, it's like 8 cents sharp. A on the 7th fret of the D string. And corresponding octave, 19th fret. Whoa. And octave, D. It's like 10 cents sharp. There we go. Our F sharp's in tune. 7th fret of the 2nd string and octave. Almost 10 cents sharp. First string, 7th fret, B. Octave, 19th fret. Again, it's like 10 cents sharp. Okay. It's tuned to the tuner. All the 6 open strings are in tune. Here's an E major 9. Almost in tune. E major 9. Here's a G. And then a G chord. That's 3 30-seconds at the last fret. And the first string is actually, it's 1/8 of an inch. The treble side is actually higher off than the bass side. This does need to be dressed on the treble side, and I think that's maybe why it was raised up disproportionately on the treble side. These indentations here, I'm just pointing them out. I'm not taking responsibility for that. That was in before I touched the guitar. That's how it arrived, those indentations. I don't know who did that, but it wasn't me. And you can see on this side too, there's sort of a dent in the lacquer. Have no idea what went on there. Because the nut is compensated, you can actually have that action higher than you normally would. Okay, another thing, that jack actually is loose, which is no big deal, just tighten it up. There's already a stress crack here in this plastic plate. I'm going to remove the plate. He can keep the original one. I'll put a chrome input plate on that. Let the dance begin. Let's get these strings off. Okay, first step. This is obviously clicking. So we'll back that truss rod off. Oh, that's better. We'll go down to a smaller straight edge and we'll start up here. Okay, there's definitely trouble here. So this was never addressed. Yeah, definitely some ticking here. And it's right there. So we got the lay of the neck pretty good, but there's a few high spots here. Not a big deal, we'll take care of it. No CNC machine, just a few straight edges, very simple stuff. The neck's supported, it's not flexing. The body's supported. We just got to breeze over these high spots. Another part of the issue with this one is the frets were not really crowned very nicely. There's a lot of flat spots on the tops of the crowns. I've got the high spots marked, the obvious ones, with chalk. A lot of the frets have kind of flat spots. So it's not just that those flat spots can encourage extraneous buzzing, but more importantly, they affect your intonation. The string is supposed to fret dead center. We're going to hit those high spots, re-crown, and then we'll do another taste test comparison. You be the judge. Back to our small straight edge. No clicking, no ticking. Yeah, we're golden. All those high spots are taken care of. Now, of course, I have to re-crown because the high spots are all flat on the top. But we have leveled, crowned, gone through our various grits of abrasive, and this is our final touch. We're going to buff it out to a mirror shine. Okay, let's start this off. Steve's Les Paul Classic is done. Let's go through this taste test comparison again. Open string all the way across, and first fret note all the way across. So you saw previously that I could not get a 5 thou feeler gauge under that first string. So now I can just barely fit a 10 thou gauge. Both sides, lots of room. So this is the point I was making. With a compensated nut, you can actually raise the action a little bit higher, which is nice to have a healthy action at the nut. So when you're strumming anything, any of those open strings, if you're strumming hard, it's no longer an issue. The way that nut was cut before, and I see this all the time because people are desperate to sort of get rid of that sharpness in the first position, especially on Les Pauls or shorter scale guitars. This is the whole purpose of the compensated nut. We intonate each string all the way across, just like you do at the bridge. Now, because it's intonated, it actually allows you to have the string higher than you would normally have it. It's a two-way win. Well, that Cherry Sunburst Les Paul is done. We'll be shipping that back to Steve in Pennsylvania tomorrow. And oddly enough, look what came in today. Another Cherry Burst Les Paul. Of course, this is a standard. This one's going to be 10 to 46 strings. Now, Steve's guitar is actually 10 to 52, kind of light top, heavy bottom. It's interesting that that would come in within an hour of finishing up that Cherry Burst. This one shows up. So this guitar, Jerry's, almost to the letter, needs what we just did on Steve's guitar. Now, of course, this one's splatting out. Fret dress at the neck junction. The same issue that Steve had with his guitar. Somebody had cut the nut slot so low that all the open strings were buzzing. To correct that, the bridge was hiked up, and then everything went out the window. Identical guitars, identical problem.